Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to continue our investigation of rooting numbers, but today we're actually going to take it a step further. We're going to talk about rooting variables. Now, we're going to keep it nice at first. We're only going to root perfect variables. So that means that they're going to come out nicely. And then in future videos, we'll transition to the harder examples. Now, when you're talking about variables inside of a radical, what you need to look at is the exponent. And specifically, how many times can the index go into that exponent? Now, what I mean by that is in this first one, remember the index isn't written. It means that it's a 2. So, how many times can 2 go into 8? Well, 2 can go into 8 4 times. So that 4 becomes the power of my variable outside of the radical. All right, looking at another example. So for this one, we have an index of 3 and an exponent of 6. So how many times can 3 go into 6? Well, it can go into 6 twice. So the new exponent on my y is going to be a 2. For the next one, how many times can 5 go into 15? Well, 5 goes into 15 exactly 3 times. So again, all it is a matter of seeing how many times can that index go into the root. Now, for our next example, we have 2 variables inside a radical. So you basically just have to do this process twice. So remember, when the index is not showing, it means that it's a 2. So how many times can 2 go into 2? Well, for that one, it's just once. So you got x to the first power. And then a 2 goes into 4 twice. So we'll get a y to the 2 on the outside. And of course, you don't really have to show an exponent of 1. So you could just write this as xy squared. Next thing, or same thing in our next example. So how many times can 3 go into 9? Well, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So that becomes a y to the 3 outside the radical. 3 goes into z 4 times. So that becomes a z to the 4 outside of the radical. Now, don't forget, you can also take roots of numbers still. So all you have to do is look at your powers chart in order to get that next one. So the fourth root of 256 will just end up giving you a 4 outside of the radical. And now you can still do the process with a variable. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. So that'll become an x to the 3 outside of the radical. All right, so again, pretty quick, pretty easy, just as long as you have that powers chart and you remember that for variables and exponents, all that matters is how many times does the index go into the exponent. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you have all this written down and come and see me if you have any questions.